And then that goes right into, like I said, the West we kind of end in because we can talk about the Mariners.
Oh, goody.
My pointers just kind of going into the week. Obviously, Canzone's on the IL. Stanek, I have not heard if he's...
I saw that last night. I was going to ask about that.
I don't know.
I saw him get pulled, and then I was like, I was doing something else, so I didn't really think about it. But
I don't know. I saw him get pulled too, but I have yet to... I don't want maps. Ryan Stanek is not on the map.
Nothing.
I don't see anything
right
in
now,
the
at
news.
least.
And he could have just got pulled for precautionary reasons.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've not heard anything about him getting hurt. Right now he's listed as day-to-day. Standing exit the game after facing just water due to back spasms. So just day-to-day. So they probably just took him out precautionary for the All-Star break. So Canzone's on the IL. I don't know what for again, but he's been on and off the IL all year. Been very inconsistent. Stanek sounds like he's day-to-day. He'll probably be back by the end of the All-Star break. But that's okay because Santos has looked really good.
Yeah.
He's been lights out. He's giving a little bit of a breather for Munoz. It seems like with Stanek being up there, obviously we have Matt Brash.
I was going to say, imagine.
No one would get a run on us, but we would never score a run. So it'd be fun. Cal Raleigh in the last 7 games is hitting .355, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs. He hit his third career game, hitting a home run on each side,
left and right,
which is cool. Julio in the last 7 is batting .591 with 2 home runs with 5 RBIs. He's 13 for 22. He maybe is kind of coming around. We say this every week. Is he coming around? Is he not? I don't know. He's playing well right now.
He looks a lot better.
He looks more comfortable in the box.
Yeah, even his past 15 games, he's hitting .353.
Yeah.
It's like he's actually doing something now.
And none of it's still power, which is interesting. A lot of it's just singles. But again, small ball's fine, Julio. You're fast enough to steal. You're fast enough to, if someone else can slap a base hit. The bats came alive the last couple games. I know I don't want to say we struggled, but we definitely had a good little streak of scoring some runs against the Angels. Go to the Mariners, please. Go to the Mariners. And I think, because
we're not playing Mike Trout.
Well,
that helps a lot.
It was 8-3 against the Padres, 2-0 Padres, 11-0, 6-5, 2-1, 3-2. Losing the series against the Angels is bad.
It's embarrassing.
And we kind of, like I said, we kind of had this against the Blue Jays. We scored 4-4, 8-2, 11-5. That's like what we need. We need those type of numbers. Now, obviously, 2-1, 3-2, not enough, no matter what. And the loss against the 6-5 was stupid. That was an extras, and we shouldn't have given up the home run or whatever. That's whatever.
Yeah.
But it's better than like the last. I mean, you go all the way back to like the Marlins series. Besides the 9-0 game, 4 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 1 run, 3, 0, 1, 3, or 7, 1, 4, 4. Like, we're just not scoring runs. But they looked a little bit better. And obviously you get the break, which could be much needed. Hopefully everyone's still staying in the batting box and just swinging away and trying to make contact with baseballs. But I don't know. The Astros still terrify me.
If it weren't for our pitching, we'd be so far out of it, it's not even funny.
Our pitching might be historically like the best ever.
So right now, as of yesterday, they're third in the MLB for ERA at .344 as a team. They're the first in the MLB as far as the least amount of hits given up with 697. They have the third lowest earned runs, so just the amount of earned runs they give up, and then the lowest average against with 219.
They're dominating, and that's not just the start. As at the start, that's all the way through.
Yeah,
the pitching staff for the Mariners has been unbelievable. They've been literally from the up and bottom. And yes, there's a couple players, Bauman, who are not very good and should get off the team. But literally, like you said, that's what it is.
Yeah, they're insane.
That's what it is. And that's that's really all I had. I know that we had a prospect. I don't know if you had him written down. Got banned for 80 games.
Oh yeah, I saw that, but I honestly didn't look too much into it.
I didn't look too much into it. He was a kind of a nobody, no-name guy that I don't know. And that was kind of everything going on with the Mariners. You have the break, obviously, so we have until next Friday. Again, kind of just slow week in sports this last week and this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on this week. I know, like I said, the Olympics are starting. We'll probably talk a little bit about that as we kind of get going into it. But
yeah,
I didn't really have anything else going into it.
The only thing with I feel like trade deadline. I know we've already talked about this,
we'll probably get into
but
that
there's
more.
been some more rumors about Jazz Chisholm to the Mariners.
Yep.
So I can't decide if I like it. Like
It
it's
can't
not to
hurt.
say that he's not better than our players.
Yeah.
He clearly is because we
Yeah.
have, yeah. But I can't decide if he's going to be a good guy in the clubhouse or not because that's what I've heard a lot of stuff. That he's really, I mean, you can see him, see how he plays.
He plays
He's
with a
just-
lot of passion and a lot of fire,
I
but
don't
he
know.
also he does have this like kind of swagger where he thinks he's the thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, if he, it might be good though too because I don't know if the Marlins have a guy like hypothetically like Mitch Haniger,
Yeah.
who Mitch Haniger will tell him to probably shut up and sit down. Like,
Yeah.
dog, like we're in the playoffs. You need to mature yourself and figure it out. As a baseball player, it won't hurt. As a human being in the
That's the
clubhouse,
only
it
thing
might
I'm
be interesting.
not
But I
too
also
sure.
don't know because is Jazz from the U.S.? I don't know where he's
don't
from.
know,
'Cause I was going to say
honestly.
maybe he's from the Dominican Republic, or somewhere that he might know.
Bahamas.
So he kind of has that vibe of he might get along with Julio.
Yeah.
Obviously, Julio, we do know, plays with a lot of fire, plays with his emotions on his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been that way as much this year, and that might be because he needs someone to fire him up, get him going and stuff like that. And maybe Jazz is what you need. It kind of depends on what you give up for him. You have his contract. I know Jazz has a couple more years of arbitration. If you hypothetically say like, yeah, here's Harry Ford and Polanco, I'm okay with it. I don't think Harry Ford is going to play a lot for the Mariners ever.
The only way he does if he makes a position change because Cal Raleigh is too good of a catcher and too good of a hitter to take out of the lineup.
I don't know if he's a great. I mean, he's a good hitter, but he's not a great hitter. But
Well,
Ford could be if Ford was down to like go to third, first, maybe a corner outfield. You keep him, and I know that he just recently has been playing in the corner outfield. I don't think that increases his speed of coming up to the show, but to me, I'm like, if he wants to play corner outfield and he can do a decent job, I don't really want to get rid of him. I'd rather have him on the Mariners as a corner outfielder. Now, again, that's a big if because we know Jazz Chisholm can play in the major leagues. He's a good major league player. Harry Ford could come up and bat goose eggs and do nothing. He could be Jackson Holiday, which I don't want him to be. I want Jackson Holiday to be good. I think Jackson Holiday had a lot of hype, but I think it's the same thing where do you risk getting rid of your prospects who are supposed to be all that? I mean, Harry Ford's obviously in the top 20 now, and I think Cole Young's in the top 20 for overall prospects, which you would think that they got to be kind of good sometime, but you also can understand that might as well get
at the
an
end
MLB.
of the day, they're still prospects.
Yeah, might
tough.
as well get an MLB ready player. And to me, even if it was the Mariners trade for Jazz, we make the playoffs for the next, say, 2 or 3 years. We don't win anything, but we make the playoffs, and then Harry Ford gets called up and is a stud. And he's a very good catcher. He's an above-average catcher or outfielder, wherever he plays. I'm okay with it. I would rather take what I can get right now and realize that, okay, now we have to rebuild. That's what teams do. Look at the Astros. They somehow keep getting prospects that keep sneaking through their organization with Pena and stuff when they let Correa go and they rebuild as they're going. They retool is what you kind of say it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm okay with it because, again, if you do say you trade away some of these young guys for some decent bats, decent players, you still got Julio forever.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, yeah, you're going to eventually have to replace J.P. Crawford and Ty France and some of these other guys, but like you said, Cal's pretty young. Canzone's young. Ryan Bliss is young. Like, you already have some replacements. Josh Rojas, I don't believe, is that old.
I think he's 28,
I think he's 28.
maybe?
Is that what it is? And it's like some of these guys will be around for a little bit.
30. He's 30.
So maybe not as long. But then you have your pitching staff with, you would think if you gave them money, Kirby and Gilbert, Bryce and Wu should all stay on the Mariners. Pay them, please keep them here because they're going to be one of the best rotations ever if you keep them all four together.
And Castillo's he has a decent deal, I think.
Yeah, he's
right
on like
now.
20-something, but he's only got 2 or 3 more years, and then he'll be a free agent. But that's fine because he'll be like 36, I think, or something like that. So it was a good deal we signed, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I think, honestly, out of all the teams, right, I mean, I am biased with the Mariners, but they have so much potential with that starting rotation.
Oh, sure. Well, just their starting lineup, too.
If they just added a little bit, they could be...
They need a good batter, too.
Yeah.
A new good batter too, and I think the Mariners. I think we saw it a little bit last year too. When one person got going, the team got going. I think like Kelenic was one of the big ones. I remember everyone was like, when he broke his foot, everyone's like, "What an idiot, so dumb." But that literally, when he broke his foot, there was some sort of like, and people could be like, "Oh, it's because Kelenic was out of the lineup and no one wanted the baby to blow it." Whatever, that's fine. Whatever way you look at it, I looked at it as he was pissed off, mad that they lost. He's frustrated. He knows we're on a slump. Yeah. And he's fired up. It's like when the manager goes out there and just some games, you'd see Lou Piniella just say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get tossed because I'm going to go defend my players. And that sometimes gets that fire underneath the team, which I think we're missing. And I think if you got someone who's a good hitter, you might just see that get rubbed off on everyone. How does he hit? How does he see the ball this year?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I agree. I think that's what we need. I think we need that spark.
I agree.
So
should be interesting. Thanks for listening to the Kind of Athletic podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and come back next week for next week's episodes.